You know, faith is not for those who need evidence at hand at all times. Okay. Faith is for those who truly, truly believe. And I know everybody here tuning in was coming at me saying, Tobes, what did you do this whole year? You spent this summer watching Eurobasket. You sold us a bill of goods. What are you doing here, dude? I'm tired of listening to you, you charlatan bum. And to those, I only have two words for you. Yovic, dude. Miami Heat beat the Portland Trail Blazers, one of the NBA's finest teams this season, has been making some noise. Unbelievably, this Joe Cronin rat bastard. Unbelievably taking out the top teams in the West. They've beaten the Thunder, but tonight, dude, even with the extra rest, even getting to stay down here in South Florida, kicking up their feet while the Heat were beating the Hornets yesterday, the Miami Heat get themselves a 131 win tonight. They start 4-0 at home. Eric Reed revealed this after the broadcast. Only the third time that's happened. The other previous years, one was the title year in 06. The other was the 2020 finals run. So maybe a good omen for the Miami Heat. Again, a night tonight, no Bam Adebayo, no Tyler Hero. You had Norman Powell, Jaime Jaquez, both playing on bum ankles. And you needed somebody to step up with those two. Those two were good. They're good. They were good. But you needed some scoring punch tonight, and you got just an absolute sensational performance by the Serbian Terminator, Nikola Jović, with 29 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, and a big-ass block in the fourth quarter. What a performance by Niko Jović and these Miami Heat, these high-flying, high-scoring, thrilling Miami Heat. What an absolute treat they've been to watch this season. And this one was just an excellent game, back and forth. Miami Heat got down early in this one. They had to claw their way back. They had an absolute dynamite second quarter to get a little bit of control on this game. Then you start feeling like, maybe you got this game in control. They get it up to a dozen lead there in the third quarter. And then all of a sudden, the Portland Trail Blazers with their head coach, Tiago Splitter. Of course, this is the other team in the league right now dealing with the gambling scandal that has rocked the NBA, but most directly the Miami Heat and this team losing Chauncey Billups. But the thing is this Tiago Splitter, he may be a really good coach because he's got them playing some great basketball. So they start turning the Miami Heat over left and right. And you're just like, sheesh, this is something. This is going to be a heck of a battle here between these two squads. And man, you get to that fourth quarter, starting to worry. You only have a 3-point lead. Dru Smith has a turnover. Shaedon Sharpe gets Portland the lead, and you're just like, all right, let's see what we got here, dude. Time to go out here and make some things happen. And when you needed a bucket tonight and you needed to turn somebody, Nico was there, man. Gets the bucket and the foul to tie things up, blowing right through Denny Avdia today, who was absolutely sensational. Continues his really good year for the Portland Trail Blazers. Tied things up at 103 apiece. And then, I mean, dude, this was something. There was a little bobble. Heat were playing some good. They were hounding Jrue Holiday in the paint. Loose ball. Shaedon Sharpe comes out of nowhere, scores, and it was a scores, and it goes up 106, I think 104 Portland. And Nico's just like, nah, dude, how about this? Stop, pop, hits a big time three to put Miami back up 107 to 106. But it was just, he had that 3-ball going today. He would get another one right after that. He was keeping possessions open. He was keeping possessions going. He did another one to put the Heat up 110, 106. You're just like, all right, here we go, dude. And this was one of those where you were just like, whew, we were going tit for tat in this game. Jeremy Grant would come back. He would get a bucket to bring things in. Dru Smith would find his way to the line, clutch free throws for him, but Avdia would tie things up at 112 apiece. And then Nico, who was playing so sensationally, just kind of falls over. He has a 6 turnover, leads to a Murray bucket, I believe, and it was 114-112. Portland leads. And you're just like, oof. I mean, this is crazy. Both teams had 25 points off of turnovers at that point. So you're coming into this, come out with a lineup of Powell, Pella, Jaquez, Mitchell, and Nico. Mitchell gets the steal, and he's able to find it to Norman Powell, but it rims right out. Kel'el Ware then takes an elbow right in the chops from Denny Avdia, gets the ball back to the Heat, and Davion Mitchell right to the rim is able to tie things up at 114 apiece. And then Nico gets the bucket through contact, puts Miami up 116-114. Powell just finds him on the 2-on-1. Then gets a little dicey there because Miami, frantic. There's a lot of possessions are going all over the place. Just still trouble like closing these possessions with the rebound. Nico gets really pissed. He throws the ball. He gets teed up. And so Jeremy Grant gets the technical foul, and then on top of it, he gets more free throws to go out there, and he's able to get all 3 to drop. So Portland's back on top, 117-116. 5 minutes left in this game. And I mean, yeah, you're just like, you don't want this great game being, especially from Nico, going by the wayside. Norman Powell, who was playing through injury today. Mind you, again, these guys off a back-to-back. You're starting to wonder 5 minutes left. You got it in them. Do they got that in them to pull this thing out? And, dude, he throws up this thing today, and it was like boop, 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 pinball style. Drops in, gets the foul, gives you a little wiggle. Kel'el Ware is fired up. Miami able to get back out on top by 119-117. Avdia would come back and tie it. Norman Powell would then come back and get the Heat the lead. And then Davion Mitchell, just like the dog he is, stands right in there, draws the foul on Jeremy Grant, gets Jeremy Grant kicked out of the game. Big time play by Davion Mitchell. But then he'd have another one where he's inbounding the ball. Beautiful play, finding Kel'el Ware for the cut, puts Miami up, getting a little bit of breathing room now. 123-119. Jrue Holiday, he would get fouled by Nico. That would be Nico's 5th, but he misses one of the free throws, so the Heat's up 3. Wiggins would come into the game, and Jaquez, who, has been so sensational, so good. He just had a little bit of a rut here in the like all these layups that he could get dropped, couldn't get anything to drop in the second half. He has one that would have given Miami's lead a little bit of extension. He misses it. Jrue Holiday comes back the other way, ties it at 123 apiece. This game was going bananas and nutty, dude. Really crazy. Back and forth both ways. They put Donovan Clingan in, and they don't have Ware in. They're playing Nico. They're closing with Nico. They got their guys in, so you got this big moose in there. And he was pretty positive. They played him limited minutes, but he was pretty positive in all the minutes that he was in there. And, gets them the lead. And then Nico, the play that was just like needed to get that momentum back on Miami's side. He gets a nice little bounce pass. Beautiful setup as he finds Jaime Jaquez Jr. cutting to the bucket, gets the bucket, gets the foul. Miami, with 2.5 minutes left in this game, back out on top, 127-125. You're like, these two teams just going blow for blow. This game was absolutely crazy. Crazy game, dude. Unbelievable. Clingan would tie things up at 127 apiece. Then Norman Powell draws the foul on Avdia. He goes up. Nico gets the switch on to Jrue Holiday from right behind with a Serbian swat. Gets Miami back the ball. Leads to an Andrew Wiggins. Wide open 3. Miami up by 5. Wiggins' first bucket of the second half was a huge one, and then he steals it from Denny Avdia. Would have led to a bucket. It's no good. And then Nico, with about a minute left, takes the rock, and he puts up an absolute heat check, gets nothing. Nothing left. So Portland setting themselves up. They go, and Avdia taking a 3 looked like a bad shot. And Davion Mitchell was in the vicinity of him. And they call the foul on Davion Mitchell. Well, the Heat haven't challenged yet. And Spo just like thinks to himself, he looks, and then he's just like, no, waving the flag, like helicopter style, is giving the review, and he is beside himself, pissed off. Classic Eric Spoelstra. What a freaking legend. By the way, he got it right. Challenge successful. Marginal contact by the Miami Heat point guard, Davion Mitchell on Avdia. So the Blazers, they keep possession, but no points. Miami gets to keep their challenge. They obviously get to keep their challenge, keep their timeout, and they keep their 5-point lead, biggest of all. Drew Holiday gets set up. He has a good look at a 3, goes in and out. Norman Powell rebounds it, and Davion Mitchell would go to the line. He hit some clutch free throws, and that would be all she wrote, man. Woo! It was an absolute thrilling performance by Miami today. And a lot of guys could, just again, like I just continue to go by this, just a lot of guys contributing. Miami gets off to a really slow start in this game. And the bench unit just picks them up right away. Like Jaime had those second half struggles up until that last bucket where Nico found him. But, Jaime Jaquez was awesome to be the catalyst there. Because Miami gets off to this rocky start. It was the opposite of what went down yesterday. And, yeah, he's just getting easy buckets and feeling it. But the first half, dude, I got to give a shout-out to Dru Smith. Dru Smith, what a demon, all right? And I'm really... I'm really upset by Frog Boy and his slander on this gracious, tenacious, unbelievable point guard for the Miami Heat. A dog. Because Frog Boy, you should be ashamed of yourself. Because Dru Smith is an absolute menace. And he finishes today with 13 points. But it's not just the 13 points, dude. It's the 4 steals. It's just like every game this guy is getting the Heat 3 extra possessions in a team that is giving up a lot of extra possessions. Tonight Portland took 12 more shots than Miami. They out-rebounded them by 9. Offensive rebounds 21-12. And this has just become a regular theme. Even with Miami's pace, they got to deal with teams putting up more shots than them. And Dru Smith is just along the way to get stealing of inbounds, being an absolute hound on the defensive end. And he had this possession where, he gets a bucket, but like he gets the steal to lead to the bucket. And then he gets another steal right off the bat. Like should have led to another bucket for Miami. And he's just doing that constantly. He's just hounding at all times. So shout out to Dru Smith, man, and he's been such an absolute animal for the Miami Heat, and to do this, he beats science. He comes back off the Achilles tear after having the ACL the year before, and in the second quarter, same thing, just like hitting strong runners, confident weaving in and getting to the rim. He's confident taking the 3 ball, and his steals are just like leading to positive things at all times for Miami. And so I just thought it needed to be mentioned. He's nasty, dude. He's been playing so great for the Miami Heat, and you love that from him. And then the other one that I got to mention is I think it'll probably go unnoticed in this game, but Kel'el Ware finishes today with 9 points, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks, and a steal. But There was a big moment in this game where, Kel'el, it was going Portland's way. Tamani Kamara puts Portland up with a 3 ball. And Spo calls timeout with about 7 minutes left, and Klingon was getting the better of Ware. And I don't know what clicked. It was one of them positive Kel'el Ware bursts. But in that third quarter, he's just gobbling up rebound after rebound. He's going after it. He's getting loose balls. He's getting second possessions. And Jaime Jaquez put up a 3, and Kel'el kept the possession going. And then Jaquez found him for a sick alley-oop that had Miami in a 12-0 run, put them up 11 at the time. And this game was crazy. Just like big swing after big swing. It was crazy, man. But I loved it. I love the way this team is playing. I love the way they're uniting. And obviously I love getting a monster game from Nico the way that we did. We got the kind words this week from the multiple-time MVP, the Joker, Nikola Jović. And Nico, I thought today was interesting. Like, he had the ball in his hands a lot. And there were some tough passes that he had. He obviously had a lot of turnovers. He's trying those whip passes, and some guys weren't ready for him. Some of them were off the mark. But it was his aggression, dude. His aggression, the confidence. I mean, the Serbian steps that he had, the runners, the aggression, the physicality he's playing with. And then he had the confidence with the 3-ball to just stop and pop and let it go. You could just see it flowing through Nico today. The confidence was there. It was needed. It was beautiful. And let's see if the bums talk about it, right? The bums probably won't talk about it. But this Miami Heat team now 6-4. They just beat everybody's little darling in the Portland Trailblazers. They got a big-time setup come here on Monday with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Couple games there. Then they got the Knicks. And Miami has been playing absolutely beautifully on a day where we get the announcement that Vice Knights are back. Just absolutely sensational, dude. What a night. Did you see that night? But did anybody see that national anthem, by the way, by the kid, the 7-year-old on the piano? Holy crap. I mean, we got like our next version of Julia Dale. This kid is incredible. Mark that kid, bring him back for the playoffs. That was breathtakingly talented from that kid. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable by the Heat. Unbelievable by Yovic, dude. Man, I am happy. This is a delight. We got vibes are high right now for this Miami Heat team, but it really does feel like on a different night you're getting all these. I mean, I can't believe the Miami Heat got Norman Powell for nothing. Like, can you believe this? Like, what you want to talk about? Like, just all the things that have kind of gone wrong for the Heat out snake. But you see Damian Lillard there on the bench today. Of course, he was going to make the trip to Miami, and the scandals and the Jimmy Butler thing. And finally, it's like, but the Norman Powell thing went the Heat's way. And he was gassing up Nico after the game with Will Manso. It just made me, this guy, what a gem. What a gem. He finishes today 22 points for Norman Powell, 7 of 8 from the free throw line. The Heat just have so many relentless guys. It's really great. But Pella had this, Pella's just super efficient tonight. Big time jam from him. Nice find from Jaime Jaquez Jr. And things are flowing right now, man. Jaime today, even in a game where he struggled in the second half in the field, 14 points, 12 rebounds off the bench. Like, look at these performances off the bench, dude. Who's not having fun with this team? Are you kidding me? What a squad.